All right, good evening and welcome to the Moed Shabbos edition of Daf Yomi, Moed Katan, Daf Zion, number 17. We have a special shiur for you tonight. Every shiur is a special shiur. Tonight I have a little bit of a chiddush. It's just interesting to see this chiddush because sometimes there's no Rashi on this gemara, and ArtScroll interprets it one way. And when I read the gemara originally in Hebrew, I interpreted it the other way. And it's interesting how ArtScroll, can basically tell you which way to learn the Gemara. It's not really clear who's speaking, who is the one speaking, and who's the one answering. We'll get to that in a second. In the middle of the Gemara, we'll start here from the bottom. That Zainam of Bays. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get back to Yeshiva's YouTube and get another guest to give an 8-minute chiddush on the daf. That would be exciting. Hopefully this Yeshiva takes off. Let's start from the bottom here of Ted Zayin Amud Beis, the second to last line. Amar Rabbi Tanchum, Braid Rabbi Chia Ish Kfar Akko, Amar Rabbi Yaakov Barach, Amar Rabbi Simlai. A bunch of people said someone's name. Amrila, others say Amar Tanchum, Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav Huna Lichudei. It's like Machlokas. I don't really translate who are these people. You can read it yourself. Some say it was Rav Huna himself. Said the following: Kavi Zayim Nalev Talmud Shenida. Lichvodo niduyav nidoy, a Talmud who put someone in excommunication for his own honor because he insulted him. It's effective, it's valid. The Sanya menuda l'rav menuda Talmud. The Brisa says someone, a rav, a rabbi, makes a nidoy. So therefore the Talmud also treats him as a nidoy. Menuda Talmud, eino menuda l'rav. Just because a Talmud chacham, a Talmud, if someone puts someone in nidoy, his rav doesn't have to treat the other person as nidoy. The Rav with the Ena Menuda, Halukuliyama Menuda, we see only the Rav doesn't have to, because he's bigger than the Talmud, doesn't have to treat him in nidoy, but everybody else, all of Klal Yisrael, all the people in the community have to treat him in nidoy. Lemai, what are we talking about? What's the price talking about? If a person violated one of the mitzvahs in the Torah, if you violated the mitzvahs in the Torah, and therefore the Talmud Chacham put him in nidoy. So how could the Rav not treat him as nidoy? He violated one of the mitzvahs. It's a nidoy that should be effective even for the Rav. Must be talking about that he just insulted the Talmud Chacham. That's why I put him nidoy. The Rav does not have to be noeg nidoy for that person. Amar Yosef Surban Rabbanan Avid Dina Lanavshe, a Talmudical scholar. He could also go paskin halacha or a monetary case by himself. The V'milei de psikale, something that's sure to him. Some of the Farshim say that if he's sure that someone owes him money and he forfeited, he reneged on his right to pay, he didn't pay, he doesn't have to pay anymore, he's allowed to go take the money from him, go steal the money from him, collect. That's one explanation. We'll leave you with that. Now we get to a Gemara that's really relevant for what happened in the past month over here in Eretz Yisrael. A person named Chaim Walder. Can I say his name? I said his name. I'm not saying what he did or not, but I think most people assume he did what people thought he did. I'm not deciding that for you. That's up to your own personal decision. So Haisrum Rabbanan Dehabusanu Shamane. He was Talmud Chacham. Chaim Walder, I guess, sort of Talmud Chacham. They heard bad things about him, bad rumors. Some say it was adultery. Some say he frequented unmarried ladies. Some say maybe he was a child abuser. I don't know. Amar Rav Yehuda Hechi La'avid. What should we do? L'shamte, in order to put him into Srichi Rabbanan. He was a Talmudical scholar. The Rabbanan need to ask him shilos, ask him questions. Lo l'shamte, if you don't put him in nidoy, kamischal shma d'shmaya. There's bad people saying bad rumors about him. So if you don't put him in nidoy, it looks like you're validating what he did. T'chil Hashem. Amar le Rav Bachana midi shmiel lecha. So you hit the Rav Bachana. You heard anything about this? Amar le hachem Rav Yochanan ma'idich siv kisif sekom yishmu das Torah v'achshem apiu ki malach Hashem tzvakosu. The lips of a Kohen will guard the Torah because he's like a malach. So the Gemara darshans in Doma who Rav Lamalach. If the Rav is like a malach, a malach is the ultimate tzaddik, right? He doesn't do anything wrong. Torah Then you can seek Torah from his mouth. If he doesn't have the reputation of a malach, meaning he has a bad, solid reputation, therefore you shouldn't even ask him halach shaylas. You don't need this guy anymore. Shamte Rav Yehuda basiness decided to put him in nidoy. L'sof ilchash Rav Yehuda became weak, he became sick. Asher Rabbanan l'shulei bay. The Rabbanan came to visit him to Bikur Cholim. This person was excommunicated. He decided to tag along. Apparently, he kept the distance, social distancing of 4 amos. Kadchazye Rav Yehuda chayach. When he saw him, when Rav Yehuda, when Rav Yehuda saw him, chayach. So this is what I was talking about before. What is the explanation? Who is talking over here? Who smiled over here? Kadchazye Rav Yehuda chayach. So the article explains that Kadchazye Rav Yehuda saw him. Rav Yehuda will explain it first according to the article. Kadchazye Rav Yehuda, when Rav Yehuda saw this person he put in excommunication, chayach, he smiled. Amalei lo mistach the shamtil gavra. So he said, it's not enough that you put me in nidoy. Allah chuchinami chaychi bi. You're also laughing. You're mocking me. Amalei lav bedidach mechaykin. As Rav Yehuda answered him back, I'm not smiling at you. Ella dechiazdil nalhu gaalma bedicha datai. When I go to Olam Haba, I'll be very happy. Even a great person like you, who's known as a big Talmudical scholar, I didn't flatter you. I put you in nidoy, even though you had a reputation as a big Talmudical scholar. That is the article's explanation. When I first read the Gemara, I read it like this: Kadchazye Rav Yehuda chayach. When he saw, meaning when this person in excommunication, the rabbinical scholar, saw Rav Yehuda, he laughed. Amar lei, so Rav Yehuda said to him, "L'mistech the shamtilu gavra." Not enough that I put you in nidoy, and now you're even laughing at it. You're laughing at me. Amar lei, so the rabbinical student said to Rav Yehuda, "Lav bedida machaykina." I'm not laughing at you. Ella dechayzina leho alma. You're about to die. This is why I think that when you go to that world, bedicha datai, I'll be happy that feel gavar kavasi kochani. Like even a person of your stature of Yehuda, he was a great rav, he had a good reputation. You know, Haba, when you get up to Shemayim, you realize it's a hard din. They don't treat you so easily when you get to Shemayim. That's what I thought the Gemara seemingly says. I don't know. It depends on what you think about after you die. I don't know what happens to you. Depends what you think. You think everyone's a tzaddik, or everyone's a Russia, or does it make a difference? All right. Anyway, the article explains it the first way. I like to explain it the formal way, the second way, lighter way. You could decide yourself. Rashi does not make a comment on this, so it's fair. It's fair to explain it any way you want. I don't have to show him. Tosos doesn't comment on this. I don't know. Anyway, the Gemara continues. Nach nafshi, the next thing happened. Now nafshi of Yehuda died. Asa the Beis Midrasha. So this rabbinical student was still in nidoy, came to the Beis Medrash. Amalu Sharili, he said, I'm doing better. Remove my nidoy. Amru le Rabbanan Gavar the Chashik Rav Yehuda Aleika Hachad Lishrila. Rav Yehuda was big. He put you in nidoy. We need someone as big as him to let you out of nidoy. Elazil Gabe the Rav Yehuda Nasiya. Go Rav Yehuda Nasiya Lishrila. He'll mount your nether, your nidoy. Azal Kamei, when he came to Rav Yehuda Nasiya, Amru le Rabbi Ami Pog Ayin Bedine. Rav Yehuda Nasiya told Rav Ami, go figure out if he repented, if he's doing what he was rumored to be doing still. If you have to, you matter his nidoy. He thought, based on what the facts that he found out, that he was doing better and he wasn't committing what he was responsible for putting him in nidoy. Amar Rabbi Shmuel, he suddenly came to the Beis Medrash. Al Raglav. Amar Rabbi Shmuel al Raglav. He stood up suddenly. But Amar Mashif Chashbei Rabbi. Even when a maidservant in the house of Rabbi lo nagu. When she put someone in nidoy, Chum treated it very harshly. Shalashanim, they kept the nidoy going for 3 years. They wouldn't matter it. Yehuda Chavrein Rav Yehuda, our friend, Alachas Kam Bakam, but he put someone in nidoy. You can't just matter it so easily. Amar my the command the Asa Idna Haisab min Russia. The Hakama Shani Lo Asa. Rav Shmuel Achmeni apparently hadn't come to the Beis Medrash in many years, and now he came today. Shramina let me buy the Mishrele. So the Rami said, Siyata Dishmaya. It's a Sim Min Hashamayim, like this last year where the roof fell in. The roof caved in. It's a Sim Min Hashamayim. The fact that he said this, therefore, I'm not going to matter his neither. I mean, whether you feel this is the right thing or not, Sim Min Hashamayim, he never came in. So therefore, based on that, I mean, usually Torah relies on rational things, not this. Okay, whatever. So the Gemara says, Lo Sharaleh. So therefore, based on the testimony of Shmuel Rachmani, he didn't matter his neither nafak kikabaki. So this rabbinical student left. He didn't get his nidui matir. And he was crying. Yabaki ba'azal asas zibur v'tarke amte. Apparently, a bee or a wasp came and bit him or stung him on his male organ. I don't know how it got there. But he died based on that. Apparently, he was allergic to bee stings. Ailu marosa de chasidi. So they were trying to find a place to bury him. They tried to bury him among the pious people. The Loki Blue, the people, the guards there wouldn't let them bury them there. Ailu Marasa Daini, they wanted to bury him with the Dayanim, the Kiblu. And they did accept him my time. Why did they accept him? The Avak Rabbi Lai, this rabbinical scholar who had a bad reputation, he did like Rabbi Lai, the son of Rabbi Lai, Omer Imroa Adam, she is from Eskabrolov. Person sees that as he hates Sahara, probably for women. So he should go to a place where no one recognizes him. He should wear black clothes. This guy in the Makolet over here is always wearing black clothes. Nothing to do. I'm not saying anything you did wrong. I'm just saying. I always ask him why he was wearing black clothes. He wears black. He's not Haredi. He wears a small yarmulke, but he always wears black clothes. Like, some colored clothes. Like, now it looks good. He's like, I look good in black clothes. He's like more tan than me. I think he's from Libya. But I'm not saying that's anything bad, but I'm saying the Gemara says some people wear black clothes. We asked him Ashlibo Chafetz and do what your heart desires. So he didn't do some apparently this rabbinical student, he had bad reputation, but he was doing it privately, not publicly. So therefore they accepted him. What was a story where the maidservant of Rebbe put someone in need? He saw a man hitting his eldest son. Amri lahavi gavra b'shamta. She put him in need with a father. The gavra mishum. He violated Lifnei Yerushalayim Michshol. The sign of Lifnei Yerushalayim Michshol, you shouldn't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person, but Makal ibn al-Gadol custom adab. What is it talking about? It's talking about a father who hits his son, his eldest son, who's going to want to fight back. You're not allowed to wound your father, you're not allowed to hit your father. So he's putting a stumbling block by hitting the kid. So you see that a father is not allowed to potch his son. Here, you're not allowed to discipline your son by potching him, by hitting him, because Lifnei Iver. There from this Gemara. So Gemara says, why the Gemara is only Bno Gadol? So here the article says is a mature person. It doesn't mean his oldest son. Still a little bit of an Ian. Bno Gadol sounds like his eldest son, not necessarily a mature son. So Gemara says Reish Lakish, another story. Amanater Pardesa. He was watching someone's orchard. Asu Gar B'Kachal. Someone came into the orchard and started eating figs. Rama Beikala Lashkath Bey, he raised his voice, he shouted at him, stop eating the figs. Amar Lahavi Gavra B'Shamta. You didn't listen to him. Shlakish put the guy in Nidoi. Amar Le Adarab, Lahavi Hu Gavra B'Shamta. So the thief said to Reish Lakish, you should be a Nidoi. Mamon Nis Chayavtilach. If I became Chayav money because I stole from the guy, Nidoi means Chayavtilach. Does that mean you put me in excommunication? Apparently for stealing, you don't put someone in excommunication. Asalim in Russia, he came to base Medrash Amarle Shalo. Reish Lakish wanted to know what the din was. Amarle Shalo Nidoi. His Nidoi, the thief's Nidoi, was effective. Shalcha Eno Nidoi. Your excommunication was not effective. Like the guy we reasoned, he said for Geneva. I don't know. I thought the Gemara said before that for an Avera you could put someone Nidoi. I'm not sure. Mike Takante. So so Reish Lakish says, what can I do? Says, hey, Zilagabi Jerusalem says, go to that thief and let him matter your nidoi. He says, I don't know who he is. I'm really Zilagabi Nasia, go to the mayor, go to the president, Delishalach, get the president to commute your prison time, pardon you, to commute the sentence. The sign he doesn't know who put him in nidui, he should go to the Nasi, the president, and get his removed. Amar Rav Huna Busha is kino av based in Sasarach ein menadin also. In Busha they're masakin an av based in the head of a court. That's Sarach. Again, maybe he's a child abuser or molester. I don't know. He did something wrong. Ein menadin also. You don't put him in nidui. Ella Omer lo hichabi v'shev b'isach. I said, bring honor to yourself and sit in your house quietly and don't leave your house. And we won't reveal what you did. Chazar Sarach. Again, we hear that he did something wrong. Therefore, it's become public knowledge. You have to have nidui. Please, Rish Lakish argued to him. Amar Rish Lakish Tam Chacham Sarach Eimenan on the Heskia. You don't put him in nidui for Heskia. Shenemar Chashal Tayom Chishal Gam Navi Imcha Laila. Kaseu Kalayla. When there's a stumbling block and also a Navi, an important person, is Nichshal, he does something wrong. Laila, it says Laila. The Maradash Kiseu Laila, cover it like night. You shouldn't reveal to the public the person is put in nidui. Now, I read in Mishpacha magazine over the past couple of weeks about this rabbi from Chicago, Zev Cohen. He enacted a special based in to deal with cases like Chaim Walder in a private manner, a special based in. Basically, what the punishment was, the person, if he stopped doing it, they basically did excommunication. What nidui is basically you don't socialize with people. It took him out of all social circumstances, going to weddings, going to kiddushim at Shabbos, where he might find people to pray on. So that's basically what it was. Excommunication was done in private. Shalki says you shouldn't reveal it to the public. You shouldn't reveal it to the public, but the idea of a special beis din really is in accord with this gemara that you do it privately. Just don't do it publicly. I don't know whether the special beis din is called public or private, but we'll assume we'll give the benefit of the doubt of Zev Cohen, and we'll say it's private, and that's what the Gemara recommends to do. Now, listen, I don't know. I mean, listen, and people get abused, and it's very sad, and I don't know if this solves the problem of the abuse. I mean, it's probably halts the people from doing it, but I mean, it was effective for Zev Cohen, so. Maybe this Gemara, but this concept of nidui here, this Gemara, this talking about Sarach, probably could be talking about adultery. It could be talking about having relations with women who are not married. Or it could be talking about molestation, child abuse, things like that. I don't know. I'm not here to comment that I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist, psychologist, professional, but listen, you shouldn't, obviously, you have to take it, you have to deal with it, whether it's the police or special beis din, I don't know. I'm not in a position to judge. All right. But it's interesting the Gemara now is talking about this. It just happened. All right. It's a flashpoint topic now. All right. When a Talmudical scholar became chayav in nidui, Bereish Masham is nafesh. First he put himself in nidui. Then he would put the Talmud Chacham in nidui. He went home at night. He'd matter himself. And then he'd matter the nidui. He wanted to be imchol b'tzar. He wanted to be experienced with tzar with Talmud Chacham. He can put himself in nidui, and he can also take himself out of nidui. Papa said, I get pride. She give me a reward in Olam Haba that I never put a Talmud Chacham in nidui. What would he do if he did something wrong? How would you deal with it? In Eretz Yisrael, they would give lashes to a rabbinical scholar, but they wouldn't put him in nidui. My shamta. What does the word shamta mean? Amarav sham misa. There is misa because they basically kill your social circles. You can't socialize like a dead person. Shmuel Amar shmama yeh. He'll be in desolation. It's so effective. It's like fat you put in an oven that makes the oven cook better. There's all argues on Rish Lakish. We said before, Shmama is desolation. But when nidui, it lasts like fat in an oven, which a permanent effect on the person. Rish Lakish says, no, when you put him in nidui, the nidui goes into 248. limbs, and when it leaves, it leaves. I saw ear. I saw ear chayre. The city will be chayre. Chayre megamashra masayim barba mishmona. Chayre the gematria is 248. Shehiyotza the chsiv. It leaves 248 varim. The chsiv rogiz rachim tizkor. When Hashem is angry, He'll remember His mercy. Rachim the gematria haki havi. Rachim is also 248. I'm Rav Yosef. Shadi shamta agnufta the kalbav I dide avda. You could even put a needle on the tail of a dog and it'll be affected. He's eating the shoes of the rabbis. They didn't know who was eating the shoes. They put the person who the offender in nidoy. They didn't know who it was. It happened that a fire was lit on the tail of the dog and it consumed the dog. So they found it was a dog. How Alma, another story, there's a strong person, a bully. The he was causing pain to a Tzorma Rabbanan. Asked the Rav Yosef, he came from Rav Yosef, Zil Shamte. He says, put him either. I'm afraid of him. He's going to give me death threats. I'm going to shkili psicha ale, write a writ of excommunication, a written form of excommunication. And he said, certainly if it becomes public, if I write it down, people are going to know about it. I'm afraid of him. I'm going to shakle achte bekada. Go put this writ of excommunication, this written note that he's excommunicated, in a jar, and put it in the grave, the Kari Be Alpe Shipure Barboin Yomin, blow 100,000 blasts of a shofar over the course of 40 days. The jar from the blast of the shofar eventually exploded and umis alma, and when that happened, I guess the bully exploded also and died. My shipuri, what is a lashon of shipuri? Shnifron mimenu, a shofar has the power to punish someone. My tavra. Amar Rav Yisrael, brother Rav Yehuda, tavri bati rami. What does it mean, tavra? Tavra is the broken blast that you blow with the shofar. You're supposed to blow. And you can destroy even great houses. Only anytime the Chachamim looked at someone in a way, that accusing way, where they were upset at what he did, either they killed the person died, or he went into poverty. Even if he was a great person, they could destroy a great person. The Mishnah says, when their 7 days of Tara come out in the Chol HaMoed, they're allowed to cut their hair and bring their korbanos. This Mishnah is talking about where they didn't have a chance, meaning they didn't have a chance to do it before the regal. Or maybe even they became Torah, the 7 days elapsed before the Chol HaMoed, and they could have shaved before the morning, they didn't. Are they still allowed to shave their head and bring their korbanos to Chol HaMoed? Amalei Tanina, we have a brayse that tells us the answer to this. They're all talking about we didn't have time. For example, you came out of jail, or you came Medina Sayyam overseas before the Moed, and you had time to get a haircut. You're not allowed to do it on Chol HaMoed if you had time before. Nazir Mitzorah, but another Mitzorah, even if they had the opportunity to shave their heads or to get a haircut before Mutarin, they're allowed to Shelo Yishuk, and there's a special dispensation. They're allowed to get a haircut on Chol HaMoed. They can bring their korbanos. You can't bring your korbanos unless you get a haircut. Tana, the Bryce says a Kohen va'avel mutarin b'giluach. Bryce says randomly a Kohen and Avel are mutar b'giluach. So the Gemara wants to find out who is this talking about. Hi Avel Hechidan. What Avel are we talking about? The 8th day of his Avelus fell out. Erev HaRegel, he by legaluchay. Erev HaRegel, he should have got a haircut on Erev HaRegel. So that's like we said in the Bryce before. You had a chance to do it before. You can't do it on the Regel. The day before the Regel was Shabbos. The Regel fell out on Sunday. And you can't shave. You're honest. You can't get a haircut on Shabbos. The Gemara says still persists. The Gemara says he still should have got a haircut on Erev Shabbos. The halacha follows Abba Shol. We'll see whether Mixes Hayom is considered Kikulo. Part of the day is like all of it. And one Chachamim Abba Shol, the Chachamim, even they say Mixes Hayom with not Mixes Hayom lav Kikulo, the entire day. When the 8th day of Avelos falls out on Shabbos, Erev HaRegel, Shemutal Galeach Erev Shabbos. And we do say Miksa Yom Kulo, and the seventh day, he's allowed to get a haircut right before Shabbos. So the Gemara says, Lo Srika Shchal Shvi Shalol Lios B'Shabbos. The seventh day of Yosel Shabbos Erev HaRegel. Tana Bara Savar Lakava Shol. The one who said that he's allowed to get a haircut. Other Brisa says he's allowed to get a haircut. Avil and Cohen allowed to get a Yiluach on Moed. That's like holds like Abba Shol. The hour Miksa Yom Kulo. He holds Miksa Yom is treated like a whole day. Yom Shvi Ol Lakan Lakan. Therefore, the seventh day, which is Shabbos, Erev HaRegel. So therefore, half of the day or part of the day is considered a seventh day. The next part of the day is considered the beginning of Shloshim. And therefore, since Shloshim starts, so therefore the Regel knocks off Shloshim. So therefore, there's a have to get a haircut. We came in the Shabbos heavy, and additionally, because it's Shabbos, Onasu. It's Shabbos, he can't take a haircut, so he's honest. So therefore, there's no restriction on shaving during the Moed because Shloshim is over. And you're an honest because it's Shabbos. So therefore, since you're honest, therefore you can take a haircut. The Avil could take a haircut on Chol HaMoed. Tana Dida, our Mishnah, Savarla Karabban, holds like a Rabban. It didn't mention a case of Avil. The Amri Lo Amrina Miksa Yom Kekulo. You don't say Miksa Yom is like the whole day. Akati Lo Shalom Avilos to Shiva. And therefore, on the seventh day, Erev HaRegel, the entire day must be for the seventh day. Therefore, there's really two reasons over here. One reason is that he's not an honest because the eighth day never started, and it's like any other day, right? Just like even if the seventh day was Wednesday, right? He wouldn't be able to shave. He can't shave during Shiva. So the second reason also is that because they hold Miksa Yom Daf Kulo, so Shloshim didn't start. So Shloshim wasn't knocked off by the Regel. Normally Shloshim has to be knocked off the Regel. Shloshim for 30 days you can't shave for an Avil, so you can't get a haircut for an Avil. So that's another reason. The Rashash says this maybe to explain why the Gemara only gives one reason is because it could be during Chol HaMoed the laws of Shloshim are suspended. So the real is only because of the seventh day is not Miksa Yom Kekulos, therefore he's not an honest. Tana Didan Savar 1 second. Hi, Cohen Hechidami. What type of Cohen are we talking about? He lay with the Shalom Mishmar to Erev HaRegel, his Mishmar, right? We're talking about a Cohen. Cohen during his Mishmar is not allowed to get a haircut. So his Mishmar finished Erev HaRegel, he bought Erev HaRegel. So therefore, he's not allowed to get a haircut during his Mishmar because we said we don't want him to come into his Mishmar when he's Menuvel. But he could shave Erev HaRegel. It's true that the Shalom Mishmar to HaRegel, his Mishmar is concluded while it was already Yom Tov already. Talidan Savar, our time hold came on it. During the Regalim, all the Mishmaros were equal. They were considered quasi that it's the Mishmar for all the Mishmaros because they would all get a portion from the Korbanos of the Regel, and they would get Lechem Aponim, they would share during the Regel. Command Lo Shalom Mishmar to Regel Dami. Therefore, our Mishnah holds it's like the Regel, his Mishmar never stopped in the Regel. He's still part of his Mishmar. So therefore, the restrictions on cutting your hair and shaving your hair apply. Tana Borasavar, the rights we said before, that you could do Giluach Savar, Avagad the Shach, Maham Mishmaras, Mishmarte Mia Shlimale, even though technically it is a Mishmar during the Regel for everybody, because they share those things, it really, his personal Mishmar is over, and therefore, it was an honest, and therefore his Mishmar is over, and it's just Chol HaMoed, and he was honest, therefore you can get a haircut. Tana Rabbana, all those people we said at the beginning of the parak can shave their head or get a haircut. They could also, when they're avelos, let's say you come back out of jail in the middle of your avelos, so you get a haircut. So the Gemara asks, one brayza says you're asurim, even if you came out of jail or you came back from Dinas Yam in the middle of your avel, you're asur to get a haircut. The first bais which is mutter, that's talking about where he had successive avelos. He had one avelos, another avelos, right after each other. So therefore, those extenuating circumstances, he can, during the second avelos, he could, if he comes out of jail or comes back from the Yam, he can get a haircut. Why does it say all of those people in the Mishnah? Anyone. If he didn't come back from the Yam, the sign that tafu avelos zechar zeh. If he had two avelas, one after another, if his hair became very long, he could make batar, he could partially take it off with a razor. And he could wash his shirt in water. So my answer is he's only like got a partial haircut. Use a buzzer, let's say, and not a haircut, a full haircut. He can't use detergent, only water. So therefore, that's what the chiddush of this price is saying, that if it's takvu avelav, that's the kol ela shemor mutar l'galech mo mutar l'galech me'evlon. If it's takvu avelav, it has two avelas one after another. Then only if he just got out of jail or he just came into Nisyam, or any of the extenuating circumstances in our Mishnah, then he's allowed to take a full haircut and he's allowed to do laundry even with detergent. This is also meras avel aser b'tachporas. We see from this discussion that an avel is generally aser to wash the clothes. Just like the Chacham said is aser to shave during Chol Hamoed, you're also not to cut your nails on Chol Hamoed. Rabbi Yossi allows someone to cut his nails on Chol Hamoed. Just like you can't shave or take a haircut during an Avelos, you also can't cut your nails during Avelos. Rabbi Yossi is make on both cases. Ula says Allah follows Rabbi Yehuda, Allah Rabbi Yossi b'Moed. On Chol Hamoed you could cut your nails. Avelos, you can't cut your nails. Shmuel Amar, Tapi V'Chadam and Aleph, Shmuel says, Halacha Rabbi Yossi Moed over Avel. The halacha follows Rabbi Yossi that both during Chol Moed and Avelos you can cut your nails. The Amar Shmuel halacha G'devei Meikal Ba'Avel. Shmuel says the halacha always follows. If you have a Tanarei Machlokas, you go with the lenient opinion, even by Avelos. So during Avelos also you're allowed to cut your nails. Have a good week. We'll see you tomorrow.